What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all Gwent-appropriate ages? It's Flake. It's December 6th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm recording this after a stream, after doing some groceries, going to the post office, sent out some holiday cards to a few people, and I figured, you know what, now's a good time to do a little retrospective on what occurred this weekend. Of course, it was Gwent Masters Season 3. Oh, yes, we crowned the champ. And it was pretty damn cool. Cybers wins this one, and it's a nice fitting ending to a story of somebody who kind of was just already, slated to just, I don't want to say walk away, because walking away is a negative connotation. It's more so moving on to bigger, better things. Somebody who's, I guess, going to med school, completing their med school. I don't know the whole story. I don't know Cybers very well. That said, what a way to go out. I mean, this is essentially the Tom Brady type of thing, except Tom Brady just refuses to retire. But still, this is going out on top. It's the way you want to do it, right? Win the championship, walk away. I don't know if Ray Bork did that. There's a deep cut NHL reference, but that's the way you want to do it. You want to walk away when you're on top. Seinfeld style. Just go while you're at your zenith, and that's basically what's occurring here as Cybers just went through, won, and left. And good for him, man, because he deserves it. Works hard, always on the ladder, just crushing it. And congratulations again to you, Cybers. But this video here is more so just to talk a little bit more about the tournament in general, my aftermath thoughts of it and such. And the first thing I want to touch upon is the meta of the tournament, because there was quite diverse. Obviously, you had mages and you had Nilfgaard Assimilate. That really didn't change anything. It was kind of still there. Mages were the hot topic, but they were relatively kept in check. Now, obviously, they were on a power level that, is makes them a prime suspect for banning. But they were dealt with. Like, these are the best players in the world. They're going to know how to circumnavigate what mages want to do, which is just set up the patience and let those bad boys take away. So it's more so the supporting players, the supporting cast to the show that really made the tournament what it was. And in this case, that supporting cast was the monster list, that Caldwell Keltulis monster list, the Alzer Precision Strike list. Those were really the all-stars of this match, and I kind of feel bad. So the Divination Challenge, by the way, for the record, I went 0 for 4 in the Divination Challenge for Series 1 or Season 1 of Masters. I went 0 for 4 in Season 2 Masters, and I went 0 for 4 in Season 3 Masters. So am I either ridiculously smart or ridiculously unlucky? Because I seem to be picking... I am very precise at picking incorrectly. So maybe next time I just make 2 complete brackets, one with my choices and one with the complete opposites. So one of them is going to go through, right? Either way. I was completely wrong. I want to give a shout out to Cams, who brought a very fascinating lineup. One that targets mages, one that really punishes mages. I thought that it was a very smart move, and it maybe just didn't work out the way that he wanted to. That was a match that I got to cast with Shinmiri, and I thought it was awesome. Again, 1 point here, 1 point there. It really changes the dynamic of the entire tournament. So that's old news, I guess. And that Monster Keltulis list. I mean, the way that those matches were played, again, you have to trust that these players are playing it the right way, but there are sometimes mistakes that are made, some miscalculations, or some things left up to chance, because that game could have actually been different. The way that I explained it, because Christo asked me in my Discord after that play happened, said, would it have been better to discard Caldwell? And I said, well, no, because if you discard Caldwell, you play Sabbath. Sabbath returns the Caldwell, which then goes to the opponent's side anyway, so that's not going to work out. In reality, the only way that could have gone off was if Sabbath brought back the Phantom instead of the Witch's Apprentice. The Phantom used its 3 points of damage on the tall unit in the back row, and then the Nithral also does it, and then there's 2 units on the board at 11 or 14, or forgot what it was, and then it becomes a 50-50 for Caldwell to stay or go, and then you lose in round 3 anyways. That's at the end of the day, it even if that 50-50 was lost, so you needed to win 2 50-50s to win that game as the monster player. You needed the resurrection of the Phantom and then you needed Caldwell to also decide to stay. So that's 2 coin flips that you needed to win. So 25% chance of that occurring. And then you go into round 3 with no threats left. So it didn't really matter ultimately. I think that game was probably lost no matter what. But man, was that game played beautifully. And I want to also talk quickly about the cast, the casting crew, the broadcast team, and the people behind the scenes who made that tournament happen. I have this series of videos that I put out called like Flake's Favorite People. I've done one about Devil Driven. I've done one about Specky. That's his name now. I wanted to do one about everyone on the broadcast team. But I couldn't just sit there and just, everyone will have their day in the spotlight, I suppose, at one point. So I'm just going to kind of mush this together and say that the broadcast team was exceptional, and I'm really proud of Spessy for what people don't get is that the analyst portion of a show is incredibly stressful because you're recording games, you're clipping things, and you're paying attention to pivotal moments. And those pivotal moments can change as the game progresses because what seems like a big play, on turn 4 may seem a little bit more insignificant on turn 6, 7, 8. So the clips that you're taking and the dynamic of the game will change. It'll evolve over time. So big props to Specky, who did an exceptional job of not just capturing the most pivotal moments, for really weeding out the fluff and really giving you, as a viewer, a nice recap of where things, where those turning points occurred in the matchups. And again, Shinmiri, the hardest working guy on the Gwent broadcast team, who had to cast the matches and then watch the matches and then jump on the analyst desk and watch all the matches from the other. Like, the dude is, he's got 2 jobs, man, is what it is. So, props to you. I can't speak highly enough about Shinmiri. I feel exceptionally lucky that I get to cast with Shinmiri. And we talk about this often. He's somebody whom I love and adore, because we're so different. And that's something that people need to understand, is that there's always the more different that you are, the more bases that you're going to cover. And I never try to go out there and pontificate about how great I am at the game, because there's so many players better than me. If I can, stay within the top 500 of pro rank, if I in some magic world am able to sort of hover within the top 200, that's great for me. I try to, I strive to be in the 10K MMR range all the time, but Shinmiri makes it look easy. He just sees things in a different perspective. I'm the guy, essentially, in the way that you can kind of imagine it is that Shinmiri's, it's like we're together as like doing a composite sketch. He's the person who's telling me the details and the important facts, and I'm the one illustrating it and trying to bring it to life. And that's the dynamic that him and I have, which is funny because I say a composite sketch, which makes me think of a cop TV show, and then I think of Curly and Fang. Curly and Fang! Cop TV show! Subscribe now! Curly and Fang. I gotta work on that. But Curly and Fang seems like a great, cop duo, like one of those. It's like you have like a show like Rush, like those movies like Rush Hour, Lethal Weapon, things like that. It's like these comedy cop duos, like The Other Guys, and then there's gonna be Curly and Fang. And who am I? Am I like the police chief? Am I the rogue detective? Am I like the grizzled vet who always does things by the book? Who am I? Am I the chief? Am I the lieutenant that am I the lieutenant that you trust to have your ear and maybe, say things to the chief? I don't know. And I'm writing a story for a TV show that's never going to get picked up. Whatever. How about Leah and Thionheart as a duo? I these are 2 people whom I have watched progress and get better and better. One person that I am so happy to see just kind of, I don't want to say loosen up. That's not the term I'm saying, but get more comfortable with the role is Lionheart. And I think that needs to be said that Lionheart has had quite the progression in terms of casting, because what a lot of people do when they cast is that they think that casting is kind of like a role, that it's a gimmick, that it's a character that you have to play. And some people will portray the casting in a way that they've seen elsewhere. It's called it's like kind of like having that 90s radio voice. It's like, welcome to 90s radio by 98.3, where all your dreams are stupid. they kind of fall into that trap of, oh, I've seen casting, this is what it sounds like in my head, so I have to recreate that. But what we saw over the weekend was Lionheart be a lot looser, a lot more, just involved in the narrative of the game versus just what is happening. And that's great. That's awesome to see. I'm not here trying to say that I'm the fucking tits when it comes to casting, but I've been doing broadcasting for 10, 15 years in various capacities. And it's really hard to break certain habits, and that all comes with experience. And the progress that Lionheart has made has been really good. It was really a pleasure to listen to him go. And I was gonna say Leah. It's Tia. It's actually Tia. I mean, together they're Leah and Lionheart, and they will never be anything else. But Tia also was great, just picking up on a lot of the nuance of the games and such. So it was really exceptional to see that duo also generate more chemistry. Like, they needed more chemistry. Obviously not. They've been working together for quite some time. But even Shinmiri and I have improved over however many events that we've done together, and it's just something that we have to lean on and understand. It's kind of like eventually you just kind of get to a degree where there's unspoken elements where Shinmiri knows when to jump in, knows when to give me space to run, and in the same regard. Like, there's times where he'll kind of cut me off because he needs to, and those are liberties that he takes because he knows, for the sake of the broadcast, that I should probably shut up at a certain point. But at the same time, he'll also give me the runway to just take an idea and go with it. And sometimes he'll sprinkle his own brand of humor in it, and that's always super fun to listen to and watch. So just in general, I'm so happy and proud of the people that I work with. I've said this, I think, countless times. This is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, is the fact that I get to speak into a microphone about card games that I'm exceptionally passionate about, and bring that to you, paint the picture. And I get it. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I say this because I worked with Spessy and Lionheart, who are both Brits, Englishmen, I don't know what they're called, people with accents who drink tea. And I'm not everyone's favorite flavor, but at the same time, I think that, that's fine, because if I was just plain, then I'd appeal to more people, but I would never really make anything of anything. So I am who I am, and that's what it is. And it's nice to see that those who are who they are being who they are on these broadcasts. And you see a lot more of that come through with Shinmiri being a lot more loosey-goosey, but still razor sharp when it comes to not only analytics, but also following the flow of a game and bringing you, the match, as it were. I've been talking for a little bit too long. Nonetheless, friends, please, thank you so much for your support. I want to say this. I swear to God, one of the hardest things for me to do, something that I've been working on, and you can ask Mark this. He produces almost all of my content on other platforms. Like, anything that's on this YouTube channel, I do, but everything on, like, Gwentfinity YouTube, on 983 YouTube, on Spotify, whatever, all that. He produces all that stuff, and he's a freaking gem. I'm going to say this right now. Mark Theus is probably one of the most underappreciated yet most influential people in, like, esports tournaments that people just don't pay attention to. It's the fact. A lot of videos that you guys watch, he has his hand in. All those amazing productions that you guys are like, wow, this is incredible. That's him. Anyway, that said, he always tells me, you gotta do your sign-offs and your wrap-ups a lot tighter, because I just go on. And you see it, because at the end of all my broadcasts in, for Gwent or for Gwent Masters or for my podcast or whatever, I'm always just like, I always say, like, a Flake Miri podcast, I'm always like, hey, I love you, man, and I love you guys, and I love this, and I love that. Be kind to one another. You're not losing if you're learning, blah, 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 blah. I just have a million things to say because it's true, because I never know when the last time I will be picking up a microphone will be. So I want to always end it on that note and just be appreciative of what is coming my way, which is hopefully more work. And we could talk about season 4 of Gwent Masters, the new season, the new cards, and all that stuff. Maybe we'll talk about that in a video tomorrow. But for today, You badasses. I cannot tell you enough how much I appreciate it. I would honestly spend an hour just telling everyone how much I love them, but that doesn't make for good TV. So for you guys, I do love you. I do appreciate all the kind words, and I'm so glad that I am where I am. And like I said, you're not losing if you're learning. Keep shuffling those cards and play. You might win. I love you. Be kind to one another. And check out the Flake Miri podcast and Gwent Trivia. In fact, go check out Gwentfinity on YouTube. That's where a lot of cool stuff is. All right, friends. Love you so much. Bye-bye.